So how long have you been with the business?
15 years now.
Wow, that's a long time. How are you finding it?
Really good, actually. It started off more in a health and safety role, but actually I finished my fire risk engineering degree in August and graduated in November. So I'm now their resident fire engineer.
Wow, congratulations. What would you say your role involves then?
So I do a lot of fire consultancy work. Everything from looking at designs, going through checking whether or not they're actually to code, whether or not we need to consider fire engineering solutions, through to actually looking at building and doing retrospective fire strategy where we need to understand how the building should work so that actually we can make sure it's maintained to that level.
Oh, okay. So what are the qualifications required then to get into your role?
For the fire engineer, it's a fire engineering degree. And I did mine through GCU, which unfortunately has we were the last cohort to go through.
Right.
So they aren't continuing.
Does
the
it
program.
have to be a degree though? Because obviously these days you've then got apprenticeship, you've got the T levels.
Absolutely, and other routes into it. At the moment, it does.
Okay.
But I, of course, didn't start off with a degree. I've become a fire engineer over time. I fell into fire safety as I did a diploma in. It was with the FPA, and they did this 18-month fire course, training course. And I started off doing fire risk assessment. I actually got up to tier 3 as a fire risk assessor, and then I thought I really want to take this further. And fire is my world.
Right, brilliant. What would you say you found challenging? Because with the IIC, what we're trying to do is cover the whole aspect of construction where fire is also involved and included. Now, with what you do as a fire engineer, then what would you say you found challenging as a woman in that industry?
Yeah, of course. Well, unfortunately, there's not many women around in the industry, and I think that the challenge that I have is that I go in, I try to take a very pragmatic approach, and sometimes I'm challenged quite regularly. Now, luckily, actually, I came from a tutoring background as well, so I have the capacity to take on board the queries that I have and hopefully give very clear and concise.
So you've basically changed career path.
Well, I started in the health and safety world,
right? Okay.
And I was doing tutoring with NAFRAR.
Oh, right.
I tutored for RRC, Rapid Results College.
Fantastic. How long did that take you? Because I know that's not a very easy one to get.
Well, actually, so I was the tutor. I did Petals, which I don't think exists anymore. It's now called something else, but it was a teaching qualification that I did. And it was a 5-day course, and then you had to do some coursework off the back of it. And then I went to RRC, etc. after knowing NAFRAR for quite some time, and they put me in as a tutor for them.
Right. So for the business, for instance, what would you say is or as an industry, let me start from there, the representation of women within the industry?
Well, actually, I don't know if you know this, but the Home Office has recently done a fire risk assessors survey. It was just over 1,200 people they interviewed, of which 87% were male. I always knew it was quite heavily male dominated. It comes from the health and safety background, comes from fire service background as well, which tend to be male dominated areas.
That leaves just 13% as female.
13%.
Right. What do you think should be done to actually... Because we need to do something about it.
I'm talking on this at midday. Absolutely. And actually, I've got to say, I think we should be doing more mentoring, more coaching. We should show people that actually this is a way for everybody to get into.
Yeah.
You don't have to have done, the fire service background, for example. And actually, what you tend to find is it's a second career for the fire service people, and they're not all male. It just predominantly is male.
Yeah.
But I think we need to help people recognise that actually this is a careers path.
You'd agree with me that it's not everyone that is very academic, right? So what about the categories of people that are more hands-on, the ones that want to go via the T-level route?
My favourite part of my job is going round into every nook and cranny, I'm really nosy, of a building, seeing every aspect of it and thinking, right, okay, so how does this impact fire safety? So what I do it for a fire risk assessment perspective. And going through all of that, you have the guides out there, we have the information, you're thinking of your life safety, you're thinking of your means of escape, how you're going to get people out. And actually, you can do that quite easily. There are talks as well about there being apprenticeship programs looked into, which I think is going to be a real positive change. We've also got another issue where a significant portion of fire risk assessors, I believe it's 65%, are over the age of 50.
Really? So we've also got a an aging workforce.
Absolutely.
So I was speaking with someone earlier, and he mentioned, he's 66 now, which means he's got a year to retire.
Yeah.
He's worried about who's going to hand over the business to, because the right hand. Not that he doesn't trust the team, but what he was trying to say is that there needs more hands to come through and support the industry. And as you rightly mentioned, I think we're going to have chaos in our hands if nothing is done.
Absolutely, absolutely. And actually, because we're looking at the competency framework, so there's a new British standard that has been out for consultation. It is going to pull the industry up, so you have to hit certain levels. And of course, we've got to recognise off the back of that, we are going to lose a percentage of fire risk assessors. Who actually will have loads of knowledge, will have loads of experience.
And they just take it with them.
And so we've got to do something to pull more people into the sector and support them.